And now we are joined by another important speaker from the state of Maharashtra itself. We are joined by Ashish Kumar Singh, Additional Chief Secretary, Transport Department, Government of Maharashtra. Let's hear from him his vision on how digital transformation can actually help a lot of things in the urban transportation perspective. Let's hear from Ashish Kumar Singh, Additional Chief Secretary, Transport, Government of Maharashtra.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege here today to be a part of this session on re-strategizing urban transport. When Carl Benz invented the automobile in 1885, little would he have known that in 135 years, it will turn out to be the ultimate disruptor of human lives and the civic way of life. Undoubtedly, it gave us extraordinary new freedom to travel great distances and to get around like never before. It spawned new industries, thousands of new companies, and drove generations of personal and economic growth. Yet, over time, our towns and cities are getting designed around the automobile, and roads have started taking precedence over lakes and gardens. Where people once gathered in the streets and town squares, there are now highways and multi-lane roads. The freedom to move is leading towards a world where roads are being built for cars. Worst of all, time we used to spend with each other is now often wasted in congestion and traffic. Just before the lockdown announcement due to COVID-19, a regular urban commuter in India used to spend an average of 1,000 hours annually in traffic. And coming from Maharashtra, Mumbai was one of the worst affected. It is expected to increase to 4,000 hours by 2050 in places like Mumbai and Delhi. The transport system of many cities in our country has reached capacity, and yet more and more of us seek the benefits of further proliferation. Faced with this rapid urbanization and the consequent pollution and congestion that comes with it, we have to admit that the model of the past is no longer tenable. For humans to remain healthy and productive, we need to update ourselves to move efficiently, move both people and goods. In the process, we will improve the quality of life for all. I think that one of the most powerful solutions could be to bring our streets in the urban areas into the sharing era and the sharing economy. New mobility strategies and technologies created with people at the center can help us share our streets in new ways, more equitably, providing more access for more people to everything our cities have to offer. Even though we in India were late in getting automobiles for the masses, it's ironic that our streets have been left out of the sharing era by the planners. Over time, parks and public spaces have been sacrificed for streets, parking lots, and highways. And in this conference, where we are talking about mobility through technology, I would suggest that it is time for us to look back and see if we can bring our streets back into play. Like they say, beating congestion by adding more roads is a battle that no city will ever win. Maharashtra has therefore been proactive in taking steps towards smart and sustainable mobility. Maharashtra's urban population is expected to increase by a whopping 30% in the next decade. We are already more than 52%. Going by the present day scenario, the future of urban commute is going to be seriously challenging. To address these issues, we in Maharashtra have taken a number of proactive steps. The key principles of smart mobility in the state policy include flexibility, efficiency, integration, clean technology, safety, and accessibility. Based on these principles, the state government is implementing smart and sustainable modes of transport, which include electric buses for public transport and metros and BRTS across the major cities of the state. The state cabinet has approved a new electric vehicle policy this week itself, and it will be in the public domain definitely before the end of this week. Conceptualizing and implementing public bicycle sharing, creating sidewalks, and building smart roads has been the fulcrum of our interventions as a part of the Smart Cities initiative in the state. Conversion of 25% public transportation fleet to electric buses by the Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation, the Brihan Mumbai Electric Supply and Transport, which is the transportation unit of the Maharashtra of the Mumbai Mumbai Municipal Corporation, the Navi Mumbai Metropolitan Transport, and other urban transport undertakings in the state is envisaged under the new electric vehicle policy. Thus, the key elements of our transportation policy include safety and convenience offered to pedestrians, cyclists, and public transport users, reducing usage of personal vehicles, resorting to pricing and physical measures to encourage shift from private vehicles to public and more sustainable modes of transport. This has taken a little bit of a beating due to the COVID-19, but I'm sure we are going to come back strongly. Encouraging of e-vehicles and e-mobility and encouraging transport-oriented development is also a part of our strategy. By smart planning for a smart world, we can reverse this trend and return these valuable resources that have been lost to the people due to this transportation explosion that has taken over our country and the rest of the world too. We have today the technology capable of complete disruption and redesign of the surface transport system for the first time in a century. Everything from cycle tracks to pedestrian footpaths, from parking to traffic flow, from goods delivery to receiving goods can be radically improved, reducing congestion and allowing cities to transform roads into more citizen-friendly public spaces. It is not just good enough to implement some new technology like artificial intelligence, electric and autonomous vehicles without first fully understanding how it is going to make people's lives better. We need to get this design right. How do we do that? The challenge is enormous. We are talking about orchestrating the entire transportation network that is already woven into the fabric of our urban environments and civic life. But it is a task we must undertake because the old system is failing. We need to create a new vision for clean, efficient, and shared way of life. I am confident that today's event will be a step forward in the formulation of a new design for a new regulatory framework and a new vision for movement of goods and passengers across the country. And we will set up an example for the rest of the world. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Sri Ashish Kumar Singh, Additional Chief Secretary, Transport Department, Government of Maharashtra, for sharing with us your vision on various aspects of leveraging technology innovation for the transport sector. You talked about leveraging AI. You talked about regulatory framework for making a change in the movement of goods, how technology can be an enabler for that as well. Thank you so much for joining us in the inaugural of APAC India Digital Empower Meet and Awards.